today you're getting third day hair, and yeah, it's not very glamorous today, but not that I'm ever glamorous. Hi everyone, TeriGigi here. I have been looking through my YouTube notebook that I finally got unpacked and everything organized, and I was looking through it for request videos. And one that has been requested often is how I honestly feel about downsizing. I've talked about it a little bit, but I thought I would do a dedicated video on that today because especially for people my age, you know, that are thinking about retirement, do they want to stay in their home if they have a large home where they raise their kids, or do they want to downsize for whatever reason, for money, or just because they don't want to take care of a home that large, or it's a two-story home. There's all different reasons you might want to downsize. So I thought I would talk about that today. For those of you that don't know, in about 2 years' time, I've downsized from 3,000-ish square feet, a little over 3,000 square feet, to 2,000 square feet. Now I'm at 1,600 square feet. I've moved twice in 2 years, and so I have a lot of knowledge, or experience, I should say, with downsizing. Did Scott and I plan on downsizing originally? No, we did not. We loved our home in Florida. We were on this track to pay it off before he retired, and there was really no reason to move. We got a good price for that house, and we just felt like there was no reason to leave it. However, when he needed to get a new job, he could not find anything in the Tampa area, and we needed to make a pretty good salary to retire when we wanted to retire and keep that kind of on track. So, you know, best laid plans don't always stay laid down. They jump up and run away, you know. So we ended up moving to Houston, and we downsized from our big house in Florida, which we wanted to downsize in some respects in Florida. A lot of our friends had downsized, but it was just not financially, we just didn't have a financial reason to do it, if that makes any sense. It wasn't going to benefit us to downsize at that point. So anyway, we moved to Houston, and that was our chance to downsize. Mainly though, because I couldn't find anything that I wanted that was the same size home. So we went to the townhome, and we loved every minute of it. It was plenty big. We just had plenty of room. We had 2 guest rooms upstairs and a full bath, and guests could have their privacy and, you know, whatever. And it worked out perfect, and we have plenty of room downstairs. I had my office, and it was just great. I mean, we loved it. We loved it very much. And then it came time to move again to Alabama. Well, we don't know what's going to happen in our future anymore. We have no idea where we're going to end up retiring. We have no idea, honestly. We think about Florida, we think about Georgia, we think about the mountains, we think about Paris. I mean, it's all on the table where we want to end up. Now, we probably won't end up in Paris permanently, so don't ask questions about that, because that's probably, we're not, yeah, anyway, whatever. What I'm saying is the world is our oyster. We can probably do what we want, but, you know, again, best laid plans. Although having no plans is probably a good idea too. So when we figured out we were moving to Alabama, oh my goodness, we knew we weren't going to purchase a home. We knew that because we don't see ourselves staying here. I don't know. Because we did move here for a job until Scott retires, and he is 61 years old. So there you have it. So we downsized again. We have a 3-bedroom apartment that's 1,600 square feet. Oh my gosh, it's huge. We feel, I can't describe it. We feel like we have plenty of room. We have, our apartment's kind of divided into 2 areas. We've got the living, the dining, the kitchen, the laundry room, and our master bedroom on one end. And then you come around here, and we've got the 2 guest rooms here, although this is, I'm using this as an office, not a guest room. When Colin and Lexi came to stay for the hurricane that was coming to Florida, they were perfectly happy back here, and there's a full bath back here. And they couldn't hear us, we couldn't hear them. It's a perfect setup. I really, really like it. If I could make this be a house, because we also have, of course, my favorite thing is the screened-in porch. If we could make this into a house, this exact size and this exact makeup, we would do it, you know. But who knows what the future holds again. So what are the negatives of downsizing, now that I've kind of told you how where we are? Anyway, there's very few negatives, if you ask me, unless you raised all your kids in the same house, which we did not. So if you have like a family home where you've lived and all your relatives are there and all that, then I would say downsize. Well, no, I wouldn't say downsizing is a negative in that case either, because your family's all there. So how much room do you need when they come visit or whatever? I don't know. I'm not making sense, but you just have to really think about it. If it's a financial thing for you, if it's a good reason, if you have the resources to do it, because it costs money to move, you know. But if it's a negative thing, if you feel like you're leaving memories behind in a home. But to me, because we've moved a lot throughout our marriage, home is where you are. Home is where you're living. This feels like home to me. If I say I want to go home, like the other day, my friend Debbie Ann texted me and she said, "Are you home?" No. She just wrote, "In Alabama." And I'm like, "Oh my gosh, she's in Alabama?" And so I was texting her and she goes, "No, when I asked you if you were home, I wanted to make sure you didn't mean Florida." Well, I've lived in Houston in between that. So it was kind of funny because no one knows what I call home anymore. Actually, I call it the place that I'm sleeping. That's my home. And I truly feel that way. Even though it's a totally different situation, it's good. So one thing else, talking about space when you downsize, if you've had a lot of space, obviously when you get to your new place, if you downsize, you're not going to have room for everything. You're going to have to make some hard choices. And that's okay too. I mean, one time Tracy Porter said, "We're not turtles. We're not meant to drag our stuff around constantly with us." And that helped me a lot to realize I don't have to drag my home around with me. I can take what I want and leave what I don't want. And again, sometimes hard decisions, but like it was hard to leave my piano, but I knew I didn't want to bring that piano into this apartment. I didn't really have a place for it. Pianos are big, and I'm very thankful that my childhood piano is now in my grandkids' house. So sometimes if you look at it like that, or if you have a treasured item, maybe don't sell it. Maybe give it to someone in need. Maybe give it to someone that you know will appreciate it. Maybe give it to a family member. And that kind of softens the blow. If I want to see my piano, I'll see it next time I'm at my daughter Megan's house. I'll see the piano. There it'll be. You know what I mean? So even though things seem difficult, once they're gone, they're kind of gone. And it's okay. It's okay. You're not married to anything except your husband. You know, that's the only thing I'm going to drag around in my turtle shell with me, whether he wants me to or not. Downsizing, being in a smaller home. When you have guests, what happens then? You know, what is the thing then? Is that very difficult, very hard? Well, you know, a lot of people, when they're senior citizens, move into a townhome or a condo or an apartment that is very small. And they may not even have a guest room. But if that's their financial place, then you just go to a hotel if you want to visit them. You just stay in a hotel near there. I mean, there's ways to do it. There's ways to work around it. And you will if you have to. Most of the time we just don't want to. So one thing that really helped me, especially when I downsized to Houston, is my sister-in-law, Lori, grew up in a home with 5 kids, 3 girls and 2 boys. And so naturally, if you have a 3-bedroom house, the 2 boys share a room and the 3 girls share a room, and the husband and wife have their own room too. So I always had my own bedroom. I had an adjoining bathroom in the home I grew up in. It was really nice. I thought everybody had their own bedroom. No one I knew, everybody really was down to starting to have just 2 kids, kind of, maybe 3. But anyway, When Lori talks about sharing a room with her two sisters, and they slept in the same bed some of the time, all three of them, you know, she has fond memories of it. I mean, they fought like cats and dogs sometimes, but you know, can you imagine laying in a bed at night with your two sisters and talking about stuff? I mean, to me, that sounds really cool. So our nation has become so much more separated and everything, and everybody has their own space, and everybody has their own phone, and everybody has their own everything, and I think it separates us somewhat. So if you don't have the perfect setup for your company, you know what, it's okay. When Lori and Jeff decided to build their beautiful home in Dripping Springs, they first built a small guest house. I mean small. I wish I knew the square footage, but it had a little living area, a little spot for a table, a cute little kitchen, a bedroom that was tiny. I mean, the bed, you had your bedside table was, one side couldn't have a bedside table, the other side had one about that big, and two closets, I think. The second bedroom was like, it was like a little Harry Potter room, but it did fit a full twin bed, bunk bed, and then storage underneath. Anyway, my point being, they moved in that thing, and guess what? They had company. My parents went and spent the night with them, with the kids. They had 3 kids, but I think only 2 were living there in this 1.5 bedroom thing. My mom and dad slept on the blow-up bed. One of the kids was on the couch. The dog was there. They always had big dogs. The big dog was there, sleeping practically on my mom. You know, but whatever. It was fun. People have good memories. When we went over there one time, they were having a bunch of people over. Well, we all just stayed outside, kind of. And it was freezing and it was raining, but we had a covered porch. I think that you just have to get past thinking you have to have all that stuff if you find yourself wanting or needing to downsize. It's all about your attitude. It's all about your attitude. And you just say, well, we'll just make it work. Well, I only have 1 guest room now with a queen size bed. But when Megan and Craig and the kids come visit, you know what? My office is huge. I will have a blow up bed in here, and Layla can have this room. I can put another kid on the couch. Scott and I have always talked about if we got desperate and we really needed this space, when we replace our couch that's in our family room, we will definitely buy a very nice couch with a very nice sleeper sofa, or we'll buy a sectional that can be sectioned up into a bed, or a sectional where you have a person sleeping here and a person sleeping. See, there's all kind of ways to make these things work. So downsizing is not terrible. I think it's wonderful, personally. I'm glad it's happened to me. But I did tell Scott, you know, I think I'm about at my limit here at 1,600 square feet. I don't want to go any smaller than this. So that's kind of how I feel. But you know what? If I had to go to 1,200 square feet, I could. Because do you know what? Scott says this. Now, I find it hard to believe, but he said our first home was 1,250 square feet. It was 3 bedrooms, 2 baths. I can't even, I loved that house. I felt like we had plenty of room. I had 2 little kids and their little cute nursery and bedroom, and then we had our master bedroom and a little master bathroom, and they had a little bath. It was fine. I don't even remember the inside of that house well enough, but we had plenty of room. So the thing I say about downsizing is if you're thinking about it and you want to do it, go for it. You won't regret it. You will have to get rid of a lot of things. I'm not a minimalist at all living in this 1,600 square feet. I still have plenty of stuff. Even though I've culled and decluttered a lot, I still have all my stuff that I really want. The piano would have been the only thing, and again, I'm okay with what happened with that. It's just an object anyway. You can't take it with you. Everything that we have is just objects. It's the people that matter. And if you have a small space and the people that visit you, you have to be all clustered together. Hey, that might be fun. So that's it for my downsizing video. And I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you learned a lot from it. Thank you. Talk to you later. Bye.